The night everything cracked open, I was sitting on the living room floor, curled forward, pressing my forehead against my knees because the pain in my spine wouldn't stop. The house was dim, just the small lamp in the corner flickering like it couldn't decide if it wanted to live or die. I was 26, bald from treatment, wearing an oversized gray hoodie that wasn't mine. My sister Harper had stolen most of my clothes months ago because, according to her, "You're too depressing to wear anything bright." I heard the front door slam, hard enough to shake dust from the bookshelf. Mom walked in first, her perfume clouding the air, sharp, floral, suffocating. Dad followed behind her carrying a plastic pharmacy bag. For a second, my chest loosened. My prescription was due today. The pain relief pills were the only thing that made nights bearable. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video? Mom looked down at me sitting on the floor and shook her head like I was a stain. You really can't sit in a chair like a normal person? I swallowed. It hurts to sit upright. Dad snorted. Everything hurts with you. He tossed the pharmacy bag onto the table and my breath caught, until I noticed it felt too light, almost empty. My heart punched the inside of my chest. Where's the refill? I whispered. Mom rolled her eyes and walked past me toward the kitchen. Relax, we handled it. Handled what? She opened the fridge, moved aside a cake box with pink lettering and said, We returned the meds, got the money back. My brain went silent for a second. Returned? My meds? I pulled myself off the floor, using the arm of the sofa to stand. My body felt like it was made of glass, but adrenaline made me steady. You returned them? My voice cracked. Why? Dad shrugged like this was the weather. Your sister's birthday party is Saturday. The decorator raised her prices. We needed the extra cash. My stomach turned so hard I thought I would puke. You used my pain meds money for Harper's party? Dad didn't even look at me. She's worth celebrating. You're just existing. Mom shut the fridge and leaned against the counter, arms folded, expression bored. The doctor already gave you plenty of pills last month. You don't need more. I do, I said louder than I meant to. They barely last. I can't sleep. I can't eat. Mom waved her hand through the air, slicing my sentence in half. Stop being dramatic. You're not the only one in this house. I'm not being dramatic, I whispered. I'm in pain. She laughed lightly. You've been in pain since you were born. We're used to it. Something inside me twisted, sharp and cold. Dad walked over to the cake box and peeled the lid back. You're going to sit in your room during the party, right? We don't need guests asking about your situation. I stared at him. You mean my cancer? Don't say it out loud at the table, he snapped. It kills the mood. A trembling heat climbed up my throat. I need those meds, please. You'll live, Dad said. Harper, on the other hand, needs her day to be perfect. She deserves one good thing. Mom raised her eyebrows. Besides, if the pain gets too bad, take a hot shower. That's what normal people do. Normal people. I felt my nails digging into my palms, carving half moons into my skin. My vision blurred around the edges. What did you tell the pharmacist? I asked quietly. Mom smirked. That you didn't want them anymore. That the side effects were too much. They gave us store credit. Good timing, too. The bakery we wanted isn't cheap. My breath shook. I never said that. She cut me off again. And? You're sick. You forget things. My voice wavered. I don't forget being in pain. Dad clapped his hands once, loud and sharp. Enough. Harper's coming home any minute. Don't start your pity party nonsense. It's her week, not yours. Her week. My parents treated my sister like the sun and me like old paint peeling in the shade. Harper always got the best. Best clothes, best room, best treatment, best everything. I didn't even get breathable air without asking for permission. The front door opened again. Harper strutted in wearing a fur-lined jacket, perfectly straightened blonde hair bouncing around her shoulders, her makeup flawless like she wasn't even part of this family. She saw me and frowned immediately. Ugh, why are you standing? It's creepy when you just hover like that. I swallowed hard. I thought Mom and Dad got my refill. She blinked, confused. Then she turned to our parents. Wait, did you seriously use her cancer money for my party? She didn't sound horrified. She sounded flattered. Dad smiled proudly. Of course we did. You deserve it, honey. This party is important. College friends coming, influencers, that DJ you like. She squealed. Yes, thank you. I stared at her, my mouth dry. Harper, you know I need them. She shrugged. You'll be fine. You always are. Plus, she leaned in, whispering near my ear. Hurting is kinda your thing. My knees nearly buckled. Mom set the cake on the counter and clapped her hands softly. Okay, everyone, party prep. And you, she pointed at me, go to your room, rest. Or whatever it is you do. I stood frozen. You really don't care? Dad turned around slowly. Care about what? Your feelings? Your pain? He scoffed. You're lucky we even let you stay here. Harper brings pride to this family. You bring medical bills. Harper laughed like he said the funniest thing in the world. My chest ached in a way the cancer never caused. Something deeper. Something that had been dying long before the diagnosis. The room spun. The pain in my bones flared like fire. I couldn't hold myself up anymore. I folded forward, grabbing the edge of the table. Mom didn't move toward me. Dad didn't step forward. Harper didn't blink. Mom sighed. Don't faint here. Drag yourself to your room. Guests can't see this. I forced myself upright, legs shaking beneath me. I walked to my room slowly, gripping the wall for balance. Every step felt like walking through shards of glass, but the physical pain wasn't what destroyed me. It was the sound of my parents laughing behind me. It was Harper saying, I hope she doesn't ruin Saturday. It was my mother whispering, she's just existing. Harper is worth celebrating. Their words followed me into the hallway like ghosts, echoing through my bones. I shut the door behind me and leaned against it, sliding down to the floor, shaking so hard my teeth chattered. They returned my pain relief. They left me to suffer. They humiliated me for being sick. They celebrated my sister's birthday with my medicine money, and I realized something I had refused to admit for years. They didn't want me to get better. They wanted me quiet. They wanted me out of the way. They wanted a daughter who didn't need anything. They wanted a daughter who wasn't me, and they were going to learn exactly what that felt like. The revenge wasn't gentle. It wasn't poetic. It wasn't symbolic. It was real, and it was already forming. The next morning, the pain woke me before the sun did. It felt like someone was twisting a hot metal rod down my spine. I curled to one side, clutching my blanket and trying to focus on breathing, but every inhale stabbed deeper. I stared at the ceiling, swallowing a scream because if I made noise, they'd just complain about drama. My phone buzzed, a reminder for the medication I no longer had. I pressed the notification away and lay there shaking, my entire body drenched in cold sweat. For a few minutes, I let the fear swallow me. The fear that maybe they really were fine letting me suffer. The fear that maybe if something happened, they wouldn't call help. But then another thought slipped in. They didn't think I'd stand up. They didn't think I'd do anything. They thought I was too weak, too sick, too dependent. They forgot something important. Sick doesn't mean stupid. By noon, I managed to pull myself together enough to walk down the hallway. The house already smelled like frosting and cheap perfume. I stepped into the kitchen, gripping the counter for balance. Mom glanced at me, irritated. You're still pale? You should stay in your room. I need to talk to you, I said, voice low. Dad didn't look up from blowing balloons. If it's about the meds, drop it. We're done discussing that. Harper was at the dining table painting signs that said, Harper's Celebration Weekend. She didn't even turn around. I swallowed, tasting bitterness. You know I could end up in the hospital without that prescription. Mom scoffed. Oh, please, you'll be fine. You always bounce back. Stop acting like it's the end of the world. Dad chimed in without emotion. If you scare guests on Saturday, you're staying in the garage. Garage. Like a pet they didn't want people to see. My chest tightened. Why are you doing this to me? Harper finally turned, lips curled in amusement. Because everything isn't about you. It's literally my birthday week. Can you not ruin it? I stared at her. You're not even concerned. Concerned about what? She said. Your discomfort? She said the word like it was something I made up. Dad pointed a balloon stick at me. Do not raise your voice. Not today. Focus on resting so you don't look sick in front of people. I am sick, I whispered. Mom slammed the drawer shut. And we're sick of hearing about it. God, you're exhausting. The room went blurry. Their cruelty wasn't new, but it had never been this loud, this proud, this together. They were a team, and I was the enemy. Dad pulled out an envelope and set it on the counter. Harper's gift list. We need to pick up the last items. Give me your debit card. I blinked. What? You heard me. You're not using it. You barely leave the house. I stepped back. I'm not giving you my card. Absolutely not. Mom rolled her eyes so dramatically I thought she'd fall backward. Don't start this again. You're living under our roof, eating our food. The least you can do is contribute to your sister's day. My medical bills. Dad cut me off sharply. You're not the only one suffering in this house. Harper feels stressed too. Do you want her to have a meltdown? I felt the room tilt. A meltdown? Harper shrugged. I mean, this is important to me. Mom sighed like I was a burden. Give him the card. No, I said. The moment the word left my mouth, the atmosphere changed. Dad's eyes narrowed. Mom froze. Harper smirked. You're getting bold lately, Dad said quietly. You think because you're sick you can disrespect us? I didn't answer. He stepped toward me, slow and intimidating. Give me the card. No. His face hardened. Useless girl. If you're not helping, you better stay out of sight the entire weekend. I felt my pulse pound in my neck. Why do you hate me so much? Dad's jaw twitched. We don't hate you. We're frustrated. You drain this house. You're a constant reminder of everything wrong. Mom added, Harper actually brings something to the family. You just take and take and take. My eyes burned. I didn't ask to get sick. You didn't ask, Harper mocked, but you sure like the attention. I laughed weakly. What attention? Dad waved me off. Enough. Go to your room and don't come out again. Unless we need something. I walked back to my room slowly, every step stabbing my bones. But while they thought I was retreating, something inside me shifted. They weren't just cruel. They were reckless. They were sloppy. They left trails. They left receipts. They assumed I was too sick to think clearly. But pain has a way of sharpening the mind in ways comfort never could. I closed the door gently, locked it, and sat on my bed with my heart thundering. For the first time in months, I felt something real. Not fear, not exhaustion, but clarity. They used my medicine money. They tried to take my card. They wanted me hidden during the party. They wanted me silent. Fine. Let them plan their perfect party. Let them laugh. Let them underestimate me, because while they celebrated Harper's birthday with the money meant to keep me alive, I was planning something else entirely. Not poetic, not quiet, not symbolic, something real. Something they wouldn't stop. Something they wouldn't see coming. Something they had earned. And every second of pain I felt fueled it. I wasn't going to ruin Harper's party. I was going to ruin their control. The morning of Harper's birthday, I woke up before anyone else. The house was quiet except for the hum of the heater and the distant noise of Mom's early cooking. My body was aching, sore from a night without real pain relief, but my mind was clear. I grabbed my backpack and the folder I had prepared the night before, filled with bank printouts, bottle return records, and the pharmacy's stamped refund slip under my name, all proof of exactly what they did. I walked into the kitchen. Mom didn't turn around. "You're up early," she muttered. "Go back to your room. We don't need you collapsing in front of guests." "I'm not collapsing," I said quietly. "I'm leaving." Dad looked up from icing cupcakes. "Leaving to where?" "Somewhere I'm actually allowed to exist," I said. Mom scoffed. "Don't be dramatic. You can't go anywhere without us. You can barely walk some days." "I walked to the pharmacy," I said, "and I walked to the bank." They both froze. Dad set down the cupcake tray slowly. "What did you do?" "I informed them someone returned my prescription without my consent. I showed them your signatures, the refund slip, everything." Mom spun around so fast her hair whipped. "You what?" I held up the folder. "They flagged the transaction as fraudulent misuse of medical treatment, and they documented your names." Mom stepped forward, fury twisting her face. "You little—" "Don't finish that sentence," I said calmly. "Because there's more." Dad's voice cracked. "What else?" "I asked them to block you from accessing anything under my name. My card, my health portal, my insurance, my pharmacy account, all of it." Harper came down the stairs, adjusting her glitter dress. "Why is everyone yelling?" I turned to her. "Your birthday party? You'll have to pay for it yourselves now. My card isn't an option anymore." She blinked, confused, then panicked. "Mom, the decorator, the DJ, the cake." Mom grabbed her hair in both hands. "How could you do this before the party?" "Funny," I said softly. "That's exactly what I wondered when you stole my medication money." Dad slammed his hand on the counter. "You think you can just take everything away from us?" "No," I said. "I took me away from you." Harper stepped back like I slapped her. I walked past them, picking up the small suitcase I had packed. Mom grabbed my arm, a hard, bruising grip. "You can't just leave. You live here." "Not anymore," I said, pulling away. "I'm going somewhere I'm not treated like a burden." Dad shouted, "We're your family!" I opened the front door. "You're Harper's family," I said. "I was just the one you tolerated." They stood there, frozen in their perfect decorations, their perfect cake, their perfect plan, all paid for with money they weren't getting anymore. And without another word, I stepped outside and shut the door behind me. As I walked down the driveway, the cold air hit my lungs. It hurt. Everything hurt. But it was a clean hurt, a hurt I chose. Behind me, Harper's voice cracked. "What do we do now?" And Dad said the only honest thing he'd said in years. "I guess she finally stopped existing for us." No, I finally started existing for myself. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.